Are you focusing your life on reasons or results? Now, this is a question I think that's really important if you're trying to create a life that is worth living, a life that goes in the direction that you'd like it to go to. Now, let me explain this real quickly. What I mean by reasons and results are reasons are the explanations or the stories about why things happen. They give us a sense of understanding. So we have that sense of understanding as to why things happen. Now, as humans, we naturally want to know why things happen. How does this cause that? And having some understanding can sometimes help us to have a fuller view of kind of the process of why things work. When we live our lives, though, at the level of reasons, is that we will sometimes utilize those reasons to justify why we do certain things. See, the funny thing about our brain is whatever question you ask of it, it will come up with an answer, even if the answer is not correct, or even if it just completely makes no sense. If it feels like that's a good answer, your brain will give it to you. So a lot of times we live in our reasons. So I yelled at my spouse because I've had a hard day at work. I'm distant from my children because I was raised to be distant from children. I don't make more money because I'm too proud to ask for a raise. Whatever it is, those are the reasons. And again, that gives some degree of understanding, and nothing's wrong with that overall. However, when you live your life at results, that's all that matters in most cases. The result is what happened. So if I'm yelling at my spouse, it doesn't really matter if I'm having a bad day. The result is that I'm yelling at my spouse. And I have to own that. I am the one who did that. I can have reasons to say, okay, this is why I'm doing it. I need to work on that and not do it again. But if I'm at the result level, I own that. If I'm distant from my children, it's because I'm distant from my children. That's the result. Whatever I'm doing, the actions and choices I'm making that's the result. Now, with the idea of a reason, I can come up with these stories. I can come up with a story that I'm too proud to ask for a raise, and that probably a reason, but I'm not asking for the raise. It's the result. So when you live your life at the result level, and that it comes down to what am I getting back? So we would say that is the outcome. So you have a real difference between understanding and outcome. Now, when I was doing therapy work, some of my issues were that some clients really were focused on understanding. They felt they had to understand everything about their problem for it to change. And most times, just understanding why you have a problem really does nothing to change it. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but somewhere you've got to be results oriented. So we're going to look at the results as the outcome. So if you are have anxiety issues, it can be nice to know where those come from, but what's the result? Is it decreasing? Is it increasing? Are you doing things that help it? Are you doing things that hurt it? So it is really sticking at that level of focusing your life on what's happening. What are the results? And if the results aren't going the way you want, then you have to change the things that you can change. So for example, if you ask for a raise and the boss says no, uh, you may be able to change that or not, but the fact of asking, you're in charge of that. So it's living your life as you are a person who it comes down to what you're doing rather than the conditions that led up to what you're doing. Doesn't mean we minimize understanding, but we want to focus more on what we're doing. What is the outcome? And if you're outcome oriented in your life, you take responsibility for all those things that led up to that outcome. And the great thing is, if you're outcome oriented, then you know what to change to get a different outcome. But it requires moving away from the explanations and the stories and those things and moving toward what has happened. What's the outcome? Okay, what do I want to do different? Because when you live your life, you focus your life on results instead of reasons. It's an amazing feeling that you kind of walk through life as if you own yourself. And whatever happens, that you have that ability to transform yourself. No matter what's happening out here, you are in charge of you. So, something that may be helpful as you're going through your daily life. If you find these videos helpful, please feel free to subscribe, stay up to date on the latest things that we're doing on the Expanded Perceptions channel. Thanks.